So originally I was going to do a lesson on how to fly a plane. I have my pilot's license, and that's what I'm really passionate about. Due to weather and some stuff, wasn't able to make that happen, so I figured I'd do music. It's probably one of my biggest passions, probably my second. So anyway, I'm going to teach you how to play basically like a real simple song on guitar. And we're going to do that through the use of major chords. Now, if you don't know much about music, a major chord is basically, it's like really bright and happy, and then there's minor chords, which are sort of sad and mysterious, I guess. But we're going to stick to major chords. Minor chords are a bit more complicated. Now, a couple key things you need to know in music. First, all notes have a letter, and they go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats over at A again. The other thing you need to know is that we basically deal with music on intervals, and we treat these with numbers, but first, two notes together, or two notes back to back, like these two, are called a semitone. These two notes are called a whole tone, and in major chords, we're going to be paying attention to whole tones primarily. So we want a first, a third, and a fifth, and I'll show you what that means. We're going to use a G chord as our first example here, and the first note is going to be the name of the chord, so our first note is going to be G. So right here, we can find a G. What we're going to do is we're going to count then. So G is number 1, A is number 2, B is number 3. We can find a B right here. So we're going to play both of those. So now we're starting to form our G chord. So we know B is number 3, C is number 4, number 5 is going to be D. So this string here, the third string, we're not going to put our finger on anything, that is a D. So now if we play those three, we have a G chord. Now this might not sound as cheerful as I did before, and that's because this is a very basic form of the chord. We basically want to double everything we have, because we have 3 more strings here that we're not doing anything with. So what we're going to do is the next string, the 4th string here, when played without anything on it, is another G. Then on the 5th string, this played with nothing on it is a B. And then this last string here, we're going to put a finger here because this is going to make another G. So that's going to give us 3 Gs, 1 D, and 2 Bs. Now you could combine those a little differently. That's just the most common form of this chord. And when you play all those notes together, this finger here is just floating. It might look like it's on something, it's not. So when you play all those notes together, you get a G major chord. Now I'm going to show you 2 more chords that we can do this with, and I'm going to show you how we can use these in songs. So the next chord I think I want to show you is an A major chord. Actually, we'll do a D major chord first. So we know our first note is going to be D. We can find a D right here on the 2nd string. I know it's hard to see, but there's the 2nd string right here. So we're going to, D is 1, E is 2, and F is 3. Now it's not actually F. F is right here. That doesn't sound happy. Between every note, every whole tone has a semitone in between it, except in between E and F. So we're actually going to have to move this up to F sharp. That sounds a little happier. So now what we're going to do, we go back to that F to count. So F is 3, G is 4, and A is 5. So right here, if you can see that, the 3rd string, right above where we are playing our F sharp, we can play our A. So that sounds pretty good. Again, we'll go through and we'll add notes to it. We can add another D by playing the 4th string open. And we can, well, you could add more. We'll leave it there, because otherwise you're going to be doing some weird things with your pinky and your thumb. So that's what you get for your D chord. Now finally I want to do an A major chord. So we're going to start on A. And we learned just a minute ago that we have an A right here because we used it in our D chord. So A is 1, B is 2, and C is 3. That is actually, again, B and C don't have a semitone in between them, so it's going to be C sharp. So instead of playing these two, we're going to play these two because our C sharp is right here, right under where we played the A. Okay? So then we're going to go back to C to count. So C is 3, D is 4, E is 5. We can play an E right here, right above where we already are. So these three are all in the same area of the guitar. These areas I didn't mention before are called frets. So right here, we're on the 2nd fret. This would be the 3rd, 4th, 5th. So we're gonna play that and we get a nice bright major chord. We're playing this top string here because that's another E. I know this might be a lot to take in, and it does get easy if you actually try to play guitar. It's something you'll pick up real quick. It's something you sort of just memorize. Like, I don't think about 1st, 3rd, and 5th. I just know how to play them. But what I want to show you is that these can be just made into a real simple song. So we can do something like, just keep repeating that. We have a nice, real simple song. Or if any of you know Ed Sheeran's Castle on the Hill, it uses those same 3 chords. It also uses a minor chord in there just to make it sound a little cooler, and it's just, the chords in that song are just... You probably saw the minor chord in there, definitely looked more complicated. And then, if we want to make it sound even cooler, we can just play around with them and just use the basic form while moving a couple things and playing a couple different notes down here. So, an example would be Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. It's going to use those same 3 chords, but it's going to mess around with them a little bit. So, as you can see, and they just use those same 3 chords over and over, which is moving both hands. And obviously, it takes a lot of practice, but you can play real simple songs with what you learned here. And yeah, I hope you liked it.